Welcome to Sunday Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. This Sunday at Coffee Hour, we talked about Airbnb for Ukraine and how that's the modern day version of the Berlin airlift. We also talked about Robert Redford and the way we were. And that baseball season will be delayed this spring due to contract negotiations. Sports has been commoditized through the introduction of sports betting on site at both Wrigley Field and at Comiskey Park starting this year. The readings at Washington National Cathedral were from Deuteronomy. The Lord saw our affliction and brought us out of the slavery in Egypt with outstretched arm. And from Romans, for everyone who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. At the 17th Church of Christ Scientists, they reminded us that we are a spiritual body in a mortal form. And that because of this, we sometimes make the mistake of identifying ourselves with matter instead of with the spirit. From the perspective of Christian Science, this is the source of all pain, disappointment, and suffering. I'm not sure we even heard anything about the spirit during the pandemic because we were all identified as mortal pretty much 24/7 with a daily tally of this reality on the local and national TV news. The other reading at 17 Church was about the woman who touched the hem of Jesus' robe to be healed. For many years, there was a lovely painting of that scene titled Christ, the Ultimate Healer. It was in the lobby of Northwestern Memorial Hospital. I was always struck by that whenever I visited the Northern Trust Bank branch in the lobby there. At some point, there was a renovation in that part of the building and the mural disappeared. It was an artifact of the original Wesley Pavilion. Northwestern was originally a Methodist institution. When I tried to track down the mural a few years ago, no one seemed to know what happened to it. At National Cathedral, Randy Hallerith talked about the 40 days in the wilderness and how the pandemic has been like 720 days in the wilderness for us. It's been said that the pandemic accelerated trends that existed before the pandemic. And if the trend toward complete godlessness was one of those trends, we can see that we're pretty much here. To believe in God is to believe that we are created in his image and not the other way around. We have doubled down on the idea that our ways are the best ways. And if you don't agree with that, then you're an enemy of the people. At the Christian Science Church, they asked, are you children of God or children of men? Just like the mural at Northwestern, it was once the centerpiece of the institution. Now, no one even knows where it is. During the 2016 Democratic debate, candidates were asked, what is the greatest threat facing this nation? And candidate Marianne Williamson said, without hesitation, that the greatest threat facing our nation is spiritual crisis. I was startled by that, and I took note that Marianne was placed so far stage right that she was almost placed behind the curtain of the stage that night. God doesn't seem to have a place in the mainstream world today, on stage, or even almost behind the curtain. But this is not true for all people in all places. When Moses led the people out of Egypt, most of the Jewish people stayed behind to remain slaves in Egypt, instead of heading off into the wilderness with a fantastical figure who was also a murderer. It was not necessary for all of humanity to cross through the Red Sea. It was just necessary for enough of them to do so. And when the devil tempted Jesus with all the riches and powers of nations, he declined. But in today's world, it seems most of humanity has said, sign me up, while the rest of us are quietly making our egress stage right. There is no on-site sports betting at Sunday Coffee Hour, and we don't offer all the riches of the world. But if you would like to join us at Sunday Coffee Hour, I will include my email in the description of this video, and I'll be happy to send you an invite. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.